I'm delighted that East Asia Soft continue to pump out loads of arcade shoot-'em-up games onto console because I find them oddly engrossing and relaxing because there's a zenness to dodging all of the bullets in a bullet hell section whilst also shooting and making everything explode around you. And Wings of Bluestar is their latest one, and I have to say it's probably one of their best. It looks beautiful, it has a real visual style to it, but it also plays and handles really well too, for the most part, and I'll get onto some issues around this game towards the end of the review. Your ship has two different attacks, the first one being your main bullet attack, and then the second one being a special attack which is slightly different for each of the ships that you play as. The main bullet attack can be upgraded through power-ups, and then that starts to not just increase more bullets and make it more powerful, but it starts to fan it out slightly so that you get more coverage from that standard bullet attack. The second way how you can expand your ship though is through add-ons, and you can have two of them. With one of the characters it becomes lasers that just kind of go out in front of you and are really quite powerful. The other ship has a second and third like bullet attack, but the beauty of this one specifically is that you can use the right analog stick to totally go round in 360 degrees where you want those additional add-ons to point to. And so brings me to the fact that both ships handle very, very differently. Zack, the one with the lasers, is all about offensive attack. He's more powerful and he's quicker, but he's got no real way of dodging bullets or absorbing any bullets in any way, shape or form. So if you want to play hard and fast and loose, Zack is your way to go. Aya, though, has the ability to have a shield, and so what she does is she puts on like her, instead of having just bullets shooting out from her ship, it comes from an additional kind of block that's in front of her ship, which means you can plough into some of the bullets and it will absorb it for you. It also means that you can shoot behind you or above or below with those additional kind of add-on extra bullet places. And that is absolutely crucial from about Area 3 onwards, because quite often you're going down a tunnel or going down the side of a mountain or lapping like next to some water. And so the idea is that stuff isn't just coming straight in front of you, it's coming from all the way around all the screen from you. And so I found Aya much, much easier to play with than Zack, because Zack is always just pointing dead ahead, and so what you're having to do is to manoeuvre your ship and kind of circle round enemies to then be able to hit them, whereas with Aya you can stay in the centre of the screen much more and angle your bullets so that you've got more coverage. And it really felt like two very different games as you play through it, and I think that needs to be commended because it does. Even if it felt lopsided to me personally, I think that's probably because I needed to get good with Zack and actually be much more like forced into manoeuvring around to kill everything rather than just trying to hide in a corner. I found the graphics of this game to work really, really well. I did quite enjoy the retro music that goes on as well. And the other thing in the background is that there's other additional unlockable modes that you can find the more that you play. You have the ability to collect what's called risk stars, and although it doesn't seem to actually change much within the game, it's basically the store currency in the game. And so you can buy additional credits which help you get further in the game, and I needed those to get to the end of it, quite frankly. And I'd gone up to 8 credits, I think, by the time I'd got to the end of the game. But it looked like you could go further. I'm not quite sure what the cap on credits were, to be fair. But there was also like boss rush mode, the ability to listen to all of the music in its own little option. And there was a like bonus behind the scenes fan art, concept art section that you could then unlock loads of different images for and then zoom into them and all of that kind of stuff, which was cool. There is an arcade mode and a story mode. And the story mode has lots of really badly translated cutscenes in. Didn't necessarily stick around too much for that. There is multiple endings depending on what you choose and what you do in that. I personally stuck mainly to the arcade mode because I just wanted to shoot things. Simple as, really. And boss mode was quite good fun as well, although I found the bosses to be largely quite easy to get around because It is bullet hellish, but not ridiculously so. So far this all sounds fantastic, doesn't it? And when it's playing and it's working, it is. But the key to that sentence is when it's working, because this game has a really odd bug in it that I've never really come across before in such an extreme case. This happens on both the PS4 and the PS5 version, because I've platinumed it on both. It's an easy platinum, it's an East Asia soft game, what else do you expect? But what happens is when you play through the game usually the very first time, everything works fine. If you then die and you restart, the game can't cope with it, and so for the first 3 areas, always, the game is running at about 33% of the speed, or 50% of the speed, of what the game should be running. So all of your bullets go slow, you're seeing literally every single frame pretty much going through. You're moving around the screen really slowly, but so are all the enemies coming in and all the enemy fire. And it's as if you are constantly in Matrix mode, trying to dodge everything in really, really slow motion. And I thought, have I accidentally nudged a setting here? And I was going around the settings. Nope, couldn't do it. Close the game down physically with the app inside the PS4 and PS5. Restart it, back to full speed again. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Died, restarted, same problem again. Now this has happened every single time I've played the game. It's also happened where randomly halfway through a level on my first playthrough, the game just slows to a crawl. And then, without fail, from World 4 onwards, it always kicks back into gear again, and then it's straight back up to 100%. And I have no rhyme or reason for why this is a problem and why this is going on. And I have no idea how it's got through QA to get out. This game is in desperate need of a patch to sort this out, especially if it starts leaking into your first playthrough of something, because ultimately a player can, every time you reach a game over screen, just close the game and restart it again. Yes, it's a faff, but it circumnavigates the vast majority of the bug and issues with this game. But yeah, desperately needs a patch, and I think my overall score reflects just the general fun that I've had with this game, rather than that technical issue, but it desperately needs resolving. Written review over on highplanegames.com. Take care.
Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/Higher Plane Network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.